All right, today on the podcast, conversations that never happened. Today, it's going to be Jordan Peterson versus Steven Pinker. Order or optimism. Dun, 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 bum, 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 bum. Imagine this. Steven Pinker walks into a room with Jordan Peterson. Pinker has graphs. Peterson has a Bible, a nervous tick, and a very serious tone. One believes the world is ascending into light. The other thinks it's collapsing into chaos via gender studies. Steven Pinker is a Harvard cognitive psychologist with a glorious mane and a deep love for data. He's convinced the world's getting better. Less war, less poverty, longer lives, fewer Nickelback albums. He's basically an enlightenment hype man with a PowerPoint. And Jordan Peterson, he's a Canadian clinical psychologist who rose to fame, warning against compelled speech and postmodernism. He's kind of like if your dad became obsessed with union archetypes and started bench pressing lobsters. Peterson believes meaning is found in responsibility and cleaning your room. Together they form an unstoppable force of mutual misunderstanding. All right, imagine this. Here's the scene. It's a smoky academic lounge. There's soft jazz music playing in the background. A leather couch. Pinker and Peterson sit across from each other with tea. Neither touch it. Pinker starts and says, "Jordan, I think we can both agree that the world is objectively improving. Global poverty has plummeted. Life expectancy is higher than it's ever been. Even violent crime is on a long-term decline. Rationality is winning." Peterson sighs. "That's where you're wrong, Steven. You're mistaking material comfort for meaning. The human soul isn't nourished by GDP or All right, maybe I should just read it in my own voice. Peterson replies, "That's where you're wrong, Steven. You're missing material comfort for meaning. The human soul isn't nourished by GDP or infant mortality charts. People are lost. They're anxious. They're watching TikToks of frogs driving cars." Pinker, chuckling, "Yes, well, the world's problems are complicated, but the data doesn't lie. You want meaning? That's a philosophical discussion, not an empirical one." Peterson says, "You can't extract meaning from data. That's the entire point. The Enlightenment gave us tools but no reason to live. If you don't tell young men why they should act morally, they'll join Discord servers and call themselves Sigma males." Jordan, I think you're romanticizing suffering. We don't need mythology. We need reason, institutions, and vaccines. We do need mythology, Steven. People don't dream in statistics. They dream in dragons. And the Bible isn't a spreadsheet. It's a map of being. And yet, Jordan, it's always being this and being that. Can we qualify it? Or is it just vibes? Peterson, you're dancing on the grave of tradition with the pie chart in hand. I don't know about it. I'll give up on that. I don't even know what that was. That's creativity right there. I never even practiced that. I didn't know. It wasn't as funny as I imagined, but that's literally part of creating, But hey, we're here. We're doing it. We're recording. We might as well. Thank you guys for being here as always. Man, just the thought. You guys are out there in the world, aren't you? You guys are out there in the world, aren't you? Out there doing different things. You're driving. You're walking a dog. You're playing video games. And I'm in the background. How you doing? But man, life has been lifing. I recorded a podcast earlier today, and it was just so serious. I was being serious. I was actually talking about my life's problems. I was saying how I feel disconnected from my emotions. I feel selfish. I need to do better. I'm struggling to connect with people. It was just so necessary. I mean, it was necessary. I definitely recorded it, deleted it. I was like, dude, I couldn't shoot. I wasn't even able to watch it because it was just so like, what am I saying here? But there was value in it for me. I mean, I'm glad I did it. It was like very therapeutic. So I do feel a little bit better now. But yeah, I just don't want to, I want to be creative. I don't want to use the podcast as my journal, I've already done that. And I strive and desire to create at higher and higher levels. I've always liked being creative since I was like a small child. I've always liked to be creative in the sense of making things, of crafting things. I remember when I was little, I used to play with Lincoln logs a lot. I used to build like little paper cities, like elaborate paper cities. You got a gas station, gas pump, you got the county center, you got trees, like everything it was like origami on steroids. I used to draw a lot. I used to draw in fourth grade. I used to draw these, I get like a sheet of paper and I put like a little door in the bottom left corner. And then I would create like a very elaborate maze for like this little stick figure to go through. He'd get sucked up a tube, he'd get dropped in the lava. He'd have to ride a bike off a cliff and land into a small pool at the bottom of the page. Like I used to be, I've always been creative. And when I got older, when I became an adult, I started creating in different formats that were a little bit more advanced. And that I started creating in formats that required a lot more vulnerability and humility to like publish and put out there. So like writing, it was like the first time I was like creatively expressing myself. It was the first time I was like willing to take my thoughts and publish them for an external audience, and I think I started really writing for fun and leisure about 2016. And then shortly thereafter, I began producing music and like, putting little stuff on SoundCloud, little silly beats, little cool transitions, silly rapping, rapping into the microphone on the ear wired headphones. You know how there's a little microphone on the little like volume clicker back in the day? I recorded songs onto that. Junior year of college, in the bathroom of our dorm. We upgraded. We were juniors, and we actually had a dorm that had a bathroom attached to it. We didn't have to use a community bathroom. But in our personal bathroom in our dorm, I remember recording music into the wired headphone. And that was the start of a new creative frontier, music. So it's like, and just a couple years ago, 2023, when I started this, it was just like a new format, an upgraded level of creative potential. It's a combination of art forms. It's audio. How you doing? It's spoken word. It's narration. It's whatever. It's audio. It's podcasting, but it's also video, color. It's a combination of two things to create one thing. So you have visual, camera, and audio, and you combine those to create what's called a podcast. And this is just a new creative frontier. And so the whole Jordan Peterson Pinker thing, like that was just a creative attempt that failed. And I think that's really part of being creative. It's being willing to take risk. It's being willing to look like a fool. It's being willing to be wrong and to have no one hear you. But it's the act of doing it that matters to me. And so I got to thinking earlier today when I was doing the serious podcast, talking about my emotions and being all like, when I was being all emo, I literally just was like, that's not what I want to put out there. I wasn't in the right mindset of like, this isn't something that I'm passionate about or this isn't something that I think is creative. And I want to just keep pushing the boundaries of what I can do creatively. That is what I want to do. That is, and it's my free time. I don't care how you use your free time. I don't really care how you use your free time. If you want to play a video game, do that. If you want to make a quilt, do that. If you want to play chess, do whatever you want to do in your free time. I don't care. But when it comes to my free time and what I'm inspired by, I compartmentalize this environment. When I'm in this environment where I'm set up to do something new, to do something of value to people that are similar to me, conscious creative introverts, maybe that's my target audience. I don't know. I don't know. Okay? I don't know yet. I still don't know. When I'm in this environment, though, I want to spend my free time as a way to express and be almost controversial to what is normal. I think people are getting something wrong. When I watch these other podcasts, when I watch these other, people making short form, I'm not inspired by that. I don't think it's useful. I'm tired. I think it's lame. The people that are trying to have like serious conversations on small podcasts, and even myself included, I look at past videos and I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I think that was appropriate? And so, I'm a little defiant right now towards the part of me that wants to accommodate my personality and how I feel when I'm alone, to trying to mend that to make it more appropriate for the viewer. Trying to please people. What's that called? People pleasing. I don't want to people please. I don't want to act a way that people are expecting me to act because it's a podcast. I love the podcast because it's a personal, creative moment for me. And I value those things. I do value time to think. I do value time to have thoughts that don't make any sense. Believe it or not, I like that. It's fun to me. I like to have fun sometimes, okay? That's crazy. I've been doing the podcast for a year and a half. I don't want to get boxed in. Okay? So I'm going to continue to go against the grain of what I even deem appropriate. I want to challenge myself to think more creatively. And that's really the basis. I want to challenge myself. That is why I do a podcast. It's challenging the norm of what I believe. And that's the foundation. And I think I hope that would be the value for a viewer, is that they can see someone failing, someone thinking outside of what is so stereotypical in the day-to-day, that's thinking in a different way. And I hope that demonstrates and inspires other people to go against the grain, to do something in their life that they might be scared to do. I have fear all the time. I'm very fearful of being alone. I like being alone, but I'm fearful of it. It's not what I want. I don't want to be isolated from the world. I want to be connected to it. So I have to balance, how do I be more sacrificial? How do I love more? How do I feel more? I struggle with feeling. I don't feel a lot. I'm pretty detached from my emotions. So I want to feel. Maybe I should have did theater or something growing up. Maybe I wouldn't have so much anxiety about public speaking. Maybe that's why I don't like public speaking. It's the pressure of accommodating people. I feel pressure to say what people want me to say. It's fear. It's anxiety. And I'm defiant towards that. I don't like it. So if I'm truly alone and I can't think creatively or think authentically or think in a way that's genuine to what I feel and believe, then that's a problem. But the great thing is this is a format where I can just express myself authentically. Do I have areas where I need to improve in? Of course. Yes. But I want to take advantage of the creative opportunity I've put in place for myself. I want to use it to think freely, to have fun, to be abnormal. That's fun to me. Going against the grain is kind of fun to me. And I want to use it as a way to think creatively and intellectually, And my whole goal behind it, it's that, but maybe the secondary goal of that is to literally positively affect people. I want to provide value for people. My hope is this is not a selfish act. It's actually quite vulnerable. It's kind of actually, humiliating in a way. This is the reality that I deal with. I do think in very unusual ways. I'm respectful in real life. I'm respectful. I accommodate. I adjust my tone to match whoever I'm talking to. I want to get to know them. I want to listen to them. I want to know what they think and believe. Very respectful. I'm almost a little too respectful. I'm a little timid. I almost don't even want to put my ideas out there. That scares me sometimes in real life. But, I want to live a really true, authentic life. I strive for that. And so this is kind of this is the best format for me to be myself, and the fact that it will go out into the world and it will go into the online world and people can view it. I feel like that's bridging the two, So anyways, I don't know what the point of all that was, but that's what happened. So